Alrighty, this week in the news. Well, let's do this. There's a war going on, so that's happening. What else? Will Smith slapped the crap out of Chris Rock at the Oscars. What else? Ezra Miller has been arrested like a billion times in Hawaii for being a jerk. What else? Women's sports are basically done because of trans women being able to compete. What else? Gas prices are friggin' unbelievable in California right now. It's like at least $6 for a regular gallon of gas. What else? No, just kidding. You know why I make myself laugh? Because I actually don't know what's about to come out of my mouth before I say it. So, all right, let's. The war in Ukraine. It's terrible. It's remained terrible. I think the only positive is that Russia's not doing very well fighting that war, so hip hip hooray. Will Smith slapping the crap out of Chris Rock over a joke. That's pretty bad. I don't really care what anyone says. It's obviously really bad. It's super awkward. The most awkward thing I've seen in a long time. The ego that Will Smith has is so intense. Because I've watched that clip a million times like everyone else, and like the whole room is laughing at that joke. All right, it's not a very good joke, but the point is the whole room's laughing, having a good time, and Will Smith's like, "Nah," and then makes it the most awkward thing ever. Ever. That was so awkward. That's so awkward. Like the cringe, the level of cringe was so intense. And then he wins the Oscar like half an hour later. Alice in Wonderland right there. That is some Alice in Wonderland right there. Oh man. So awkward. He just assaulted a person and then they give him a standing ovation like half an hour later. Spineless. Spineless. That's how Harvey Weinstein got away with it, by the way. If you're curious as to how did Harvey Weinstein get away with it, you just look at them all giving Will Smith a standing ovation like nothing happened, and you're like, that's how. That's how. So it just further exemplifies how out of touch Hollywood is and why most people can't stand Hollywood anymore. Hollywood used to be like one of the jewels of America, and now it is just a pariah. All right? It's just a gross, sickening pariah. On the plus side, the Oscars are failing. It was the second lowest rated Oscars ever, and that's with the physical assault. By the way, Will Smith is a lot larger than Chris Rock. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, it was a real... like, you're watching a man lose his mind, you know? You're watching a man lose his mind. I feel like if I was there, I would have been like, are you out of your fucking mind? You know? Anyway, I'm not going to judge Chris Rock for being slapped on television and the way he handled it, because I'm sorry, I'm sure he was in shock. Because he's a little guy getting assaulted by a big guy on national television. And yeah, I mean, who knows what I would have done? I might have cried. I feel like my feelings would have been very hurt, okay? I have feelings. I have hopes and dreams. I feel like my feelings would have been very hurt if Will Smith slapped me across the face. Ezra Miller. People are like, who the hell is Ezra Miller? Well, Ezra Miller plays the Flash. And he's in the new terrible Harry Potter movies that no one likes. You know, the ones where they can Johnny Depp. By the way, Johnny Depp gets canned for like some accusations. Meanwhile, Will Smith commits assault in front of like a billion people. Standing ovation. Alice in Wonderland. We are living in Alice in Wonderland. Anyway, back to Ezra Miller. So Ezra Miller apparently is just like getting restraining orders on him, getting like multiple police calls in Hawaii. He's just constantly getting arrested in Hawaii, being an F up. I've learned recently that Ezra Miller prefers the pronouns they and them, which to me, those are the scariest pronouns. Why are they the scariest pronouns, Joe? Well, when your pronouns are they, them, it implies that you have like a bunch of people living inside of you, Which, I just find that to be disconcerting, all right? Of all the pronouns, they, them is like, what is going on inside your head? What, do you got like 7 people in there? Do you have multiple personality disorder? Are you schizophrenic? What is going on? Truly, what is going on with they, them? So once someone is like, hey, I prefer the pronouns they, them, I would recommend taking a step back and probably not hanging out with that person simply because of the pronouns they're choosing. Because they're telling you right there, hey man, I got some serious problems. They, them. Those are the craziest pronouns you could pick. Also, I heard someone talking about LGBTQIA. What is the IA? I can't be bothered to Google it, but I heard IA and I'm like, man, we're getting a lot of letters in that bad boy. We're getting a lot of letters in that bad boy. I don't know what IA stands for. I could Google it. I'm not going to. I'm going to hope it's gender related. Because I've been thinking about LGBTQ for a while now, and I was like, if you think of the L, it's lesbian. That's a sexual orientation. If you think of the G, that's gay. That's a sexual orientation. If you think of the B, that's bisexual. That's a sexual orientation. LGBTQ. If you see Q is queer. Now, I've kind of find queer confusing, but it's been explained to me that queer is when you don't feel like LGB or straight quite does the trick for identifying you. So I would still argue that's a sexual orientation. And then you have the T. Now that's transgendered. That's actually not a sexual orientation. It is like one of these things is not like the other. Because like all the other letters are sexual orientations and sexual preferences. Whereas the T, you could be trans and straight, you could be trans and gay, you could be trans and a lesbian or bisexual. So when you hear trans, it actually doesn't tell you their sexual orientation whatsoever, and it is like one of these things is not like the other, and I do think that they should probably ditch trans out of there, personally. Now granted, I'm just a straight male, so what do I know? All I know is that all the letters are sexual orientations except the T, it's not. So to me, it's like, why are they lumped in there? They should put swimmers in there too. LGBTQIA and then swimmers. Throw a swimmer in there. Maybe A is asexual? Maybe that's what A is. I don't know what I is. I have no idea. Anywho. Penn State has a trans woman who's been trans for 1 year, and she's crushing all of the records. So, like, female sports are done. She still has a penis. By the way, I think that's how normal people should approach trans people. Just be like, oh, this is a lovely woman born with a penis. And then they're gonna get really mad at you, and I feel like you could stand on that hill. Because you're like, what? You're a lovely woman. I'm just saying you were born with a penis. That's true. What's wrong with that? What's your problem? What is your bigotry against being born with a penis as a woman? That's your hang-up, all right? I don't have a problem. So I like playing those games. When dealing with woke people, I like playing those games. I like using those terms. I'd be like, well, this is my truth. Right before I say something. This is my truth. Or I was very triggered by that. I love, by the way, being triggered, that is just such an elitist... that is a blessing to be triggered, all right? Normal people aren't allowed to be triggered because we got normal lives. You have to be in an elite, rich situation to even have the opportunity to be triggered. Also, being woke. I've been thinking about the woke thing for a while now, and I've come to the conclusion that a majority of woke people are actually pretty wealthy. Because typically they get indoctrinated in college, and like, a lot of people don't go to college because they can't afford it. They gotta like work jobs, be blue collar. So, like, woke is also an elitist thing, much like being triggered, Like, it's something for rich people. And yeah, I'm not saying that everyone who's woke is a rich person, but I imagine the vast majority are. Like, probably in the 90 percentile or higher. I think that's it for now. Hopefully this was very informative and you're now caught up. Although... I don't even want to talk about the Will Smith thing because friggin' everyone's talked about it. But, I sat on it for a couple days. and I feel like, yeah, what we saw there was a man losing his mind or an egomaniacal maniac. Take your pick. Because he didn't care about anyone's feelings in that room. The whole room was laughing. He didn't care. He was going to make it as quiet as, like, a pin drop, And then also dropping F-bombs, not very genteel, not very polite. You know? Not good. Like, I imagine Will Smith's masculinity has been so threatened and so damaged for the last few years that that was him, like, trying to regain it in an unhealthy way. So that's why I don't really want to rip on Will Smith too much, because I think what we're actually seeing is a damaged person, not necessarily crying out for help, but we're seeing a damaged person lashing out, you know, at a small person who means well. So that's why I'm like, don't be too hard on Will Smith, because, I mean, he's probably on the edge of a nervous breakdown. And if he's not, it's because he's so egomaniacal and his mind is so twisted that he's not capable of that. But just know, he's broken. All right? That man is broken. I don't care that he won an Oscar. I don't care that he's rich. That's a broken man right there that we're watching. So, I don't know. Take it easy. Everyone have a good day.